Today's guest is Kim Moreno, VP of Franchise Development at Degree Wellness, a cutting-edge wellness franchise focused on whole body recovery and longevity. Kim has spent years helping franchise brands scale across the country with a background in both brand development and franchise consulting. Kim brings sharp insight into what makes a model succeed and what franchisees need to do to thrive. And what makes Kim's perspective even more unique is that she's also invested herself as a multi-unit owner. In this episode, we're going to talk about why Degree is leading the wellness space, how they support franchisees, and what's driving the growth. Welcome, Kim.
Laura, thank you so much for having me. This is such an honor to be here.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I think the burning question, I'd love to get into a ton of things, what the offerings are, whatnot, but was how you personally decided to become a multi-unit owner.
This is an easy one. I've worked in franchise development for quite some time now. I've seen a lot of brands. This is the only one that I own. The big differentiator here is my founders. Amanda and her partner, Tom, they really are going about this for the right reason. These services available at Degree Wellness will change lives. There's no doubt about it. I've seen it firsthand personally myself. And the way that they present these modalities makes it unintimidating and welcoming for everybody. Now, it's definitely a luxury to be able to have 20 minutes to yourself to give to this type of a thing. But man, have they presented it in a way where you feel like you deserve that luxury and it's available and accessible to everybody. Because they're coming at it from that kind of perspective, it's something I'm proud to bring to my community.
Yeah. I'd love to talk. Let's talk a little bit about what those offerings are, what they focus on, and how it can heal people.
Sure. So all of the services at Degree Wellness are science-backed to make improvements in whatever it is that they do. So we have cryotherapy, red light therapy, infrared saunas, cold plunge, along with some add-on services like oxygen bars, compression massage, and red light facials, and of course, IV drips and boosters for added nutrition and nutrients. Gosh, it's so much available all under one membership, one monthly fee, that really our big differentiator is that as a customer perspective, you can choose your own adventure. Where sometimes if you've got a full hour and you can dedicate an hour to yourself, that's great. We've got the services to do that for you. But if you've only got 3 minutes, we've got something for you that can help big time.
So when someone comes in, what's the experience? Like, how do they know if they don't know what they need, or what do you recommend? What's the path they usually take?
Most people are really familiar with infrared sauna. That's usually what they come in with. That's almost like our gateway modality. But once they try that, that gets them a certain level of caloric burn. It helps with blood flow and inflammation in their bodies. It helps with their anxiety and mood. But if they really want to take it to the next level, they can try that infrared sauna and a cold service side by side. Then you get contrast therapy. Once you start doing contrast therapy, you have such a boost of endorphins that it gives, it's like so much energy and just such a great way to start your day that people keep coming back for this.
Wow. Is the red light or the sauna and the red light done at the same time, or how does that?
Our saunas do have red lights.
Okay.
So it helps a little bit with the near and far infrared cellular rejuvenation. But if you want it on a higher dosage, red light therapy is for you. So the infrared sauna combines the red light with the sweat of being in a hot room. Red light is more just cellular rejuvenation. That helps a lot with pain and inflammation throughout the body. I have a dear friend who was diagnosed with Crohn's. After a month of combining red light therapy with cryotherapy, they no longer need their medication for Crohn's. It is life-changing how this person shows up as a parent, as a family member, in his job, all because of the services available at Degree Wellness. Things that before this was available to him, he didn't even know was accessible. He didn't know that this is something that could help.
Wow. That is so. My mother had Crohn's and it was horrific. And the thought of she could have had some relief, it would have been absolutely amazing. Yeah. No, it was rough. It was rough. So you talked about the founders and their passion. What was the mission behind them launching this?
Oh, it's a really fun story. The candidates hear this as they go through the discovery process, but Amanda is not a health and wellness guru. When she started this business, she really was pretty new to all of this. She owned a tech startup on Wall Street, and during COVID was commuting back and forth to Jacksonville, Florida, when she got a pretty terrible phone call from her doctor that Amanda now has thyroid cancer. And a quick Google search, what do I do now? Google had suggested cold plunge for your mood, Anna for also mood boosters, cryotherapy for energy, and red light therapy to help with the scarring. And a quick Google search, where do I go? She had a local Degree Wellness available to her in Jacksonville. So she became a member. And then the end of 2020, that owner was selling their business and Amanda bought it, opened up 2 more studios and started franchising. Made a lot of changes about how things are done by way of customer acquisition, customer retention, the product offerings. But she comes at this from a really interesting perspective, not being a health and wellness guru, but just a regular consumer, a regular mom, a regular business person, regular person, period. She then made a business around what the regular person would want, making it really unintimidating.
And you said it's a flat membership, or is it stepped membership? How do you do that?
It is. It's going to be really similar to boutique fitness in the market. We're probably price it right around the same. There are 3 tiers of memberships. The first gets you any 2 services you want, pick and choose. The second is any 8 services you want. And then the premium membership is unlimited. So you can really kind of move in, work from the studio, and do all your services every day. And I can't think of a better way to start your day.
Wow.
If you are a member, you also get discounts on things like the injections and the IVs.
Okay. And in terms, so you guys, when did it start franchising?
Gosh, only about a year ago today.
Yeah.
Spring, end of summer, early fall 2024.
And how many locations are you at this point in terms of sold?
We currently have 69 franchisees in the system for 165 studios. This opportunity is extremely scalable. So a lot of business owners are deciding, I can get in and do 1 and replace my income, or I can easily manage 2 or 3 and make generational wealth.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So this is a competitive field, and there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of one-offs, doctors trying things, et cetera, as well as all the different studios. How does Degree go into a market and get known and get enough customers?
We do a lot of grassroots marketing events. We really do want to be the people in the community to bring everyone together, increase vitality, and just make people show up better for each other. We want to be that third place in the community. We do have AI systems in place to help target customers by way of digital marketing. That's all available through the tech stack. But our big differentiator is we don't lean heavily into athletic recovery. If you are an athlete, you already know that these services are available to you, and you're probably already incorporating them to some extent. You're doing a cold plunge, you're taking cold showers, you already know the benefits, because when you were a collegiate athlete, you sat in that cold bath next to a teammate, and that's what you wanted to do. Not to be dramatic, I would rather die than do a cold plunge in front of a room of athletes. The way Degree Wellness makes these things available is everything's in a private suite. So if you are someone like me or my mom, I don't even own sneakers. I'm not going to a gym to get these services. This makes it very accessible to the moms in the community, and we have family plans. What's so amazing about all of our services, but specifically about that red light therapy is scientifically proven to help with traumatic brain issue. If you're a mom and you've got a senior athlete in high school who might be a little familiar with these services, doing it as a teammate, but fear of concussion is everywhere. As a mom, you're coming to do these services because you want to look younger, you want to feel younger. You do cryotherapy, you can burn 700 calories as your body works to warm itself back up. And this is passive, not sneakers working out in a gym. This is all passive. And under that family membership, you also get the lifeline where if something happens to your kid on the football field, you've got somewhere to turn. That's the kind of service we want to provide in the community.
So getting that known out there, that would be impressive. Because honestly, I mean, I've had, my kids had concussions, and it's frightening, and it had lasting impacts. And I didn't know about that, or, I don't know how well, it was a few years ago, but still, that is huge. That is huge, huge, huge.
I could tell a personal story. Back in December, I was in a car accident, concussion, the whole 9 yards, very exciting. And I was in a fog for about a week and a half. And then we had confirmation day, and I get to travel to Jacksonville. And while we're in Jacksonville, I tried the red light because they say helps with traumatic brain issues. So here I am, 15 minutes in this machine. I was back to my old self. And then the rest of the time at confirmation day, I am weepy over how blessed I am that I have this available to me.
Yeah.
And how life, and accidents can happen to anyone.
Right.
It's not a car planning, it's a car accident. You
Yeah.
never know what's going to happen. But the fact that I was able to go to the red light, it saved my life. And that's
Yeah.
dramatic, but I have young kids and I missed a lot of it. And now back to normal, I firmly believe it's because I had access to this. And whether it's
Absolutely.
placebo or not, placebo is still in effect. So if anyone out here is a skeptic and they tell me, oh, it's just because you thought it was going to work, it worked. Who cares? It still works.
Yeah, yeah. No, I can't believe. Yeah, that's significant, and that fog is pretty intense. Yeah. Wow, that's incredible. That's really incredible. Is there a target level, like when you open a location? Is there a target level number of?
How
Do you
many
do
members you
pre-sale?
want?
Yeah, yeah.
There is, and it's going to vary market to market pretty much based on what the competitive analysis shows and what the market can withhold, but also what their
Mhm.
rent is. We have a very in-depth pre-sale marketing plan because the goal at Degree Wellness is the day you open your studio and the day you swipe credit cards from pre-sale memberships, you are already in the black. That number is going to vary, but I can tell you based on the numbers that I've run with a lot of my candidates so far, if they can get 250 members, they have a really, really nice business. By the time you get 300 members, it is probably time to think about opening studio number 2.
Okay. Okay, gotcha. And how far away do you typically keep those studios?
Your protected radius is going to be 100,000 people, whatever that means for your area. Some
Okay.
places like downtown Atlanta, that's about 2 miles. In other
Yeah.
places, that's about 7 miles.
Yeah.
We will try to make sure that there's not one studio within 15 to 20 minutes of another studio, unless they're owned by the same franchisee, and that's how close they want to get them for sharing staff and resources. We're currently at the position, since we grew so quickly, a lot of our franchisees who recently came on board don't have locations yet. So then people are trying to come in and squeeze at the open locations between them. And corporate every time has to say, I'm sorry, that's not a viable territory yet. Which
Right.
is in franchise development, that's something I don't always see. Because most of the time you get a founder who wants to sell more units, and that's just not the case here. They're really
Yeah.
intentional about where they want to grow in a way to be sustainable. As a franchisee, I appreciate that. As our franchise development director, sometimes it's stress.
Yeah.
It's
No,
stressful.
it's hard. But I think it's so wise. It's so wise. Yeah. And I tell my candidates, it does. I mean, they're not going to always wait, but it does flush out. But it takes some time for those locations to be. Yeah.
To do it the right way,
Um,
it's going to take time.
yeah. So in terms of that onboarding, how long does it typically take? What's the process like?
We have changed some things internally. As an emerging brand, you're kind of building the plane as you go.
Hmm.
Now, the day that people tell us they're coming to confirmation day, that they're really considering this opportunity, we start site selection. We'll start going out boots on the ground to find a space for them. This way, by the time they become a franchisee, if they decide to, we have a good idea of where the top 3 or 4 or 5 places are to go. However, it
Wow.
might still take 2 to 3 months to negotiate with landlords,
Hmm.
maybe another 2 to 3 months for permitting. Once we get
Right.
permits, things move quick because that's when we start building and swinging hammers and your pre-sale marketing plan starts.
Okay.
That whole build out should really only take about 3 months, but we're definitely going to want to have at least 3 months for pre-sales. So you might do a soft opening in there. You might have to bring staff in to start training, but we're
Hmm.
not going to let you open until pre-sales can go through their service.
Gotcha. Okay. In terms of staffing, what do you usually
Oh,
look
this is
for?
good.
What do you start with?
Yeah. As far as the types of employees, you might have 3: one general manager, one sales associate, and then one nurse. Now, the operations at Degree Wellness are pretty simple, so we do want to keep everybody easy. I can tell you this. If the business owner is able to give this business something like 5 to 10 hours a week, your general manager is likely not going to be a full-time role, probably part-time, getting paid maybe 30 to 35 hours a week. You'll have sales associates. Those sales associates are probably making a little bit more than minimum wage. And then you have nurses. Your nurses are getting paid significantly more than that. In Jacksonville, those nurses get paid about $50 an hour. If they worked full time in the hospital, working at Degree Wellness, they get paid about half that. Because we're not paying a lot of money to employees, we have to make up for it in ease of the job and perks. When you're working at Degree Wellness, you get complimentary access to all of the services
Yeah.
for the entire month if you give us just one shift a week. So as a nurse looking for a side hustle, this is really good.
Yep.
When you're
No,
thinking
I've
about,
got friends that are nurses that do. They want to work for it. Yeah.
yep,
Yep.
This becomes a really desirable job for them. So we want to keep it easy for them. They're short and we only want 1 or 2 a week. I can tell you one of our studios is operating with almost 49% profit margins. They're doing all of that with only 2 employees, Monday through Friday, 3 employees, Saturday, Sunday. Their entire team is 10 people.
Fantastic. And so in that instance, what is the owner doing?
Owners involved a couple hours a week doing high-level marketing functions, B2B relations, and maybe once a week team meetings so they can talk about the KPIs and get everybody on board for what's to come this week. Any promotions or special events, grassroots events, stuff like that. General manager is on site most hours, not all hours, but most hours. When they're not there, it's either a shift supervisor or a sales associate, and then a nurse.
Gotcha. And in terms of that B2B outreach, what kind of success are the early franchisees seeing?
Oh, this is meaningful. When you're thinking B2B outreach,
Excuse me.
a lot of what this is letting them know that we are available in town. We can create custom packages for your employees. Let's say you're a small business owner, you have 25 employees. If your employees could benefit from getting sick less often, having more mental clarity, less anxiety, less depression, and more energy, why don't you send them to Degree Wellness? We'll give you a
Yeah,
little discount available only to your members. And maybe that's a good thing for that business owner to offer their employees.
right. How about the schools or the athletic teams and whatnot?
So what we're finding is a lot of the first franchisees are getting involved in grassroots marketing campaigns on what they are most familiar with. Some
Yeah.
of the people come from business aspects, or business background, so they reach out to small business owners. Personally, I come from a background of high school athletics. My plan is I'm going to bring my nurse, we're going to do spaghetti functions and invite the whole varsity team and their moms. And we're going to talk about the
Ah,
benefits of red light, not only for looking younger, feeling younger, mom, but also for recovery of student athletes who frankly don't have the time to be sidelined by an injury.
right, right. What is the typical duration of a red light therapy? Like when you're going in that?
15 minutes.
Really?
15 minutes in and out. If you
Wow.
think about, I want to do something good for myself, I don't always have an hour. Do you have 15 minutes? Even you give me 22 minutes, door to door, like car door to car door, we can get you in the red light therapy, into cryotherapy, give you a booster on the way out, all within 22.
Um, and then how do you train or do you in terms of wellness is certainly an emotional, but how to connect with those customers on
There's
an emotional level?
quite a bit of training here. We
Yeah.
also have an incredible tech stack, which does take on a lot of the customer acquisition role. So your
Hmm.
employees really have the time to get to know their members and deliver the best customer service. In our employee portal, they also have like not a cheat sheet per se, but they do have tips and tricks on what services result in what types of um, what wellness factors. If you're trying
Yeah.
to achieve XYZ goals, you should try XYZ equipment. So they can go back and refer to this cheat sheet and listen to how the customers are talking and what their goals are, and then tailor their tour in a specific way to give them what they want in the services, all covered in training. But again, your employees are making a little bit more than minimum wage, so our tech stack makes it really easy for them to be successful at that sale.
And are they the founders also looking for additional modalities to add or as things change or how's that?
They always are. And we do have goals to remain at the forefront of what is new and what's exciting in the wellness industry.
Hmm.
I can tell you what's really unique about Degree Wellness Founders is they currently own 4 studios. They are currently expanding to own, the goal is another 8 by the end of 2026. So they are opening their own studios in Jacksonville and Gainesville, Florida. So if anyone is listening from Jacksonville or Gainesville, I'm sorry, your territories are sold. Corporate is trying to grow those locations. They're going to use that as a test kitchen. Anytime
Okay.
new services come out, they're going to want to bring it in, make sure it makes sense, square footage in the location, bringing in enough dollars to make sense to bring it in. We
Yeah.
also need to make sure it is backed by science and it's operationally simple. Degree Wellness has no interest in bringing in any service that requires a member to spend more time one-on-one with an employee. Our employees are, you can operate this entire studio with just one person. If that one person is now dedicated to spend time with an employee, you now need a second person, which changes our whole profit margin.
Gotcha. Gotcha. What kind of person succeeds in this model?
As a business owner,
Yeah.
you're going to want somebody who they really want to make a difference in their community. Here's the thing. Business Insider and McKinsey have both recently written articles suggesting that wellness is a recession-resistant industry. When you think about the buying behaviors of Gen Z and millennials, they don't own homes. So when they have discretionary income, they want to invest in something that makes them look good and feel good. Services at Degree Wellness are scientifically proven to help with both. We get a lot of investors, a lot of people who want to grow their portfolio with the next big thing, and they want to buy up entire regions. Those people very rarely get approved because this is such a community building type of business. If your business owner doesn't believe in the power of these services and how they will change lives, your staff is never going to believe it. If your staff don't believe it, they're not going to deliver the level of customer service that's needed here.
Wow. Your passion is so apparent. I know it's amazing.
I feel so fortunate to have been put in the role that I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah. All things aligned. In terms of, you're talking a lot about the tech stacks. Any more specifics on that or that you can share?
We do use MindBody for our CRM system. I can tell you this, Amanda's had tech startups on Wall Street before she ever fell into this business. We're using a lot of the technology that she has. Our first full-time hire was a developer. It wasn't marketing. It wasn't onboarding. It was a developer because Amanda understands if something can be automated, we're going to automate it. As customers are going through, or I should say, as candidates are going through the discovery process to see if Degree Wellness is even right for them, part of the process is to review the franchise disclosure document. We have an FDD portal. The portal was fed knowledge of through ChatGPT, fed only information of the FDD, and people can ask the portal questions at any time.
Awesome.
I still go through it with them. We still encourage them to find a franchise attorney if they want to, but this does empower them to really understand the document better. Amanda created that portal because early on we had people going through the process asking the same questions, and she said, this should be automated. So she did.
Wow. That is amazing. Because I know some of my candidates are doing that on their own, but that is amazing. Wow. In terms of competitors, what would you say are other national type of competitors to you?
The largest national competitor is a company called Restore Hyper Wellness. They really brought wellness to the retail space, and they are huge, and they're really the aspirational brand. If you are an athlete, they make their look and feel is very similar to an athletic trainer's office or physical therapy. And if you are an athlete, you fit right in there. That feels really good and natural to you. I have a Restore in my town. I was intimidated to go.
Really? Yeah. I get it. No, I get that. Interesting. So it's all about that. And how you communicate that out to the community is going to be important for sure. Interesting. In terms of size of location, what is that typically like?
Our ideal location is 2,000 square feet. We'll go as small as 1,800, as large as 2,500, but that 2,000 is really the sweet spot.
Okay. And how many rooms are in that? And is everything in one room, you were saying?
Each build out will have about 7 different tiny studio rooms. You'll have at least 3 contrast therapy rooms. Each contrast therapy room is sauna, shower, cold plunge. You'll have 1 room for red light, 1 room for cryotherapy, and 1 or 2 rooms for a private IV suite. A little bit more elevated. Some of our IVs like NAD are a little bit more elevated, so we want to give a very elevated experience.
Right.
Amanda has built out every square inch of this to really optimize the entire build out. It's remarkable what she's put in these tiny builds to make sure that employees can flip rooms really quickly, but also that it feels spacious while still being intimate and cozy.
Right. Anything else that you want to share with people as they should think about it?
I would say if you're looking for something that is scalable, employee simple, and something you can really feel good about bringing to your community, we might check all those boxes for you.
Yeah. When you're wrapping this up or when you're talking to folks, what's one thing you wish they were asking through that process to help you understand if they're a fit?
I really wish that they would think, where do they see themselves in 5 years? And are they really thinking about, I want to be on vacation all the time and I want mailbox money? Anyone who is getting into this for that kind of thing is probably looking at it the wrong way. Of course, we have high profit margins and it's easy to do, and you can put staff in place and you can take that vacation. but that can't be your ultimate why. The why
Yeah.
really needs to be, I want something that can make a difference. I want to help the people in my community. And I believe that Amanda is doing this the right way. If
Yeah.
those things are all things that you can agree with, we're going to be the right fit for sure.
That's fantastic. I've really enjoyed this. I can relate to this brand so well. Yeah, it makes so much sense to me. That's fantastic.
Thank you,
And
Laura. Thank you.
congratulations for you.
Oh gosh, I am so nervous. Now I know like that feeling everybody feels right after they
Yeah.
sign and wire, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh boy, what now? But
Yeah.
we're starting to look at locations and it seems really promising. And I just keep my fingers crossed that I can have half the success that Amanda Studios is.
Right. That's fantastic. I'm sure you will. I'm confident you will. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate
Okay.
your
Well,
time.
yeah. Yeah. Thanks again. And this was wonderful. I look forward to maybe next year and hearing more about your opening.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. That's a wrap for this episode of Franchise Focus. I hope you found today's conversation insightful and inspiring. If you're thinking about franchise ownership or want to learn more about the brands we discuss, connect with me on LinkedIn or visit my website at blackmorefranchiseconsulting.com or just leave a comment. And if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share it with someone. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time on Franchise Focus.